The only way to heal a sick society is to boycott everything that's causing the destruction and the sickness. So, for example, why, if if the United States is in our best interest, why do they allow so many things that's poisoning us and causing so much division and destruction? You know, they allow you to vote, they allow you to pick sides, and ironically, it's called the United States, but they're not putting the effort to unite you people. So it's like they're letting it happen. So, and I don't understand how you humans do not understand this. Like, how do you not have the awareness to pick this up and see that they obviously don't care about y'all on so many fields. So they're poisoning you through the food, they're poisoning you through the media, distracting y'all, giving you so many concepts and ideas and biases that cater to you based on how you grew up through the system, based on, you know, learning about the fundamentals of science and things of that nature. And I'm gonna let you know, science is very extremely limited and outdated. Even though there's some truth to it, we are constantly evolving and figuring out new things. But science, the way they portrayed it, they got your head fucked up because it's not what it seems. But I'm not gonna get into that because that's a whole different topic. You need to question yourself. Why do you think why the world is the way it is? You cannot live in your own bubble and just ignore everything just because you're comfortable in that way of living. Because even though you manage to, you know, ground yourself and sustain yourself through your economical means, and, you know, just bringing food to the table and money to your pockets, it's still deeper than all of these things. These are just mechanisms that we're doing within the spectrum of reality that we're in. And it's not all about you, because you cannot be selfish. So you need to question yourself, why do they allow so many bad things to go by? Why are they spending so much of our taxpayers' money, and, you know, spending so much money on bullshit that doesn't make any sense when they can clearly fix the situation that we're in? But, you know, since humans got comfortable with their own struggle and they made it work, now they don't want to find a different solution of how to go about things. See, this is how they tricked ya. Now that you made it work through their own systematical means, you're making the system stronger. You're making the corruption stronger. So, in that sense, you are selfish. Not saying that you shouldn't work, but you should always find a solution and try to branch off so you won't have to depend on the system. You should have to find your own individuality, your own creative gift. Try to find a solution where we can benefit from your ideas and creations, and not just be a leech from the system. You cannot. That's just retarded. How are you gonna support a system that's corrupted? You're supposed to find your own hidden gifts and talents and work on that consistently. And you have the ability to do that if you just believe in yourself. That's what I'm doing. That's what many other people are doing too. And, you know, and we're not gonna stop until, you know, it happens, and it is gonna happen. So you people need to get on with the program, because once the switch happens, you're gonna be left with nothing, and you're gonna be left with depending on a system based on their own systematical structures and policies. And it's only gonna get worse, because they're gonna have to change certain things, regulations, and make things even more. I don't know if strict is the right word, but they're gonna make things more complicated and difficult for individuals who are dependent of the system to branch out of it. So it's like you're gonna have no choice but to be dependent of the system, and you're gonna keep working for the system. You're gonna have to, they're gonna make you do things that, what was previously done in history that, people didn't want to associate with. They're gonna make you participate in things that, like, quote unquote, the 2019 pandemic, things of that nature. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. So you can't be selfish, because God doesn't really care about what you desire. If you do it the right way and find your own individuality, God will truly work through you the same way He's working through me and many others. And shout out to the subconscious community in Uriel. But this is a real thing, and we gotta pay attention to the signs, because not everybody's gonna make it. We gotta pay attention to what's truly important and not be stuck in our own world, in our own bubble, because that affects others as well, and that affects how the world is created and ran. People allow this shit to happen. So it's not completely on your fault, because you're brainwashed and indoctrinated by how you grew up, and being in that comfortable space of just trying to survive. But the thing is, you're living with the flesh. You're not living with spirit. You're not the flesh. So since you're living with the flesh and not the spirit, you're not gaining that spiritual you don't have that spiritual awareness and knowledge of self, of how to be in your own individuality, and to be in your own individual space. You're not understanding how the mechanisms of how it's creating the physical. Even though obviously you probably know that you're a spirit creating the body, but you don't truly know how every little details and the aspects of it, and how it's so simple that you're not the flesh. This shit is an illusion, and people are so stuck in the flesh based on survival. And there's nothing wrong with trying to experience life, but once you get lost in the flesh, it's easy to get lost in your animalistic ways, and from there, that's where so many conflict happens, and arguments and fights, and killing amongst each other, things of that nature. So I gotta get on with the program, because it's only gonna get worse if people don't wake up. This is how evolution works. The people who are in power are not allowing individuals, quote unquote, society to evolve the proper way. All people are doing is stuck in their own barbaric, animalistic ways. Nobody's trying to learn anything. They think they're going to a good place based on heaven, or based on their religion, and I asked them, how can that be if you're not helping your environment? You're just doing the same shit every day, being selfish, and just going to parties, escaping reality. You're not learning a damn thing about reality. You're just in your own desires, in the flesh. You're trying to please the flesh. The spirit doesn't care about these things, and it's hard to to detach from these things, but you have to realize this is what you're doing. You get emotionally attached to certain things in life, and the way your mind works, you have an idea of how that feels, and you connect with it, but that's not what you are in totality. So you shouldn't get lost in these things, because you're not supposed to get lost in these things. But yeah, I guess that's all I have.